As we know, our farmland birds have declined dramatically, but with any species, it's really important to know their current population status. But sometimes getting data can be time-consuming and expensive. But as Chris discovered, there could be a cheaper alternative way.
The UK is a nation of obsessive amateur bird lovers. But how much do we really know about what our birds are getting up to? Are they faithful to our garden? Or are they playing fast and loose with the neighbours? Tracking individual birds to find out is difficult and costly, but a team at Goldsmiths, University of London, are developing a new way to democratise this science. I've come to Goldsmiths to meet Professor Bill Gaver, who's leading a project called Citizen Naturewatch.
Bill, you've got yourself a little grotto here full of, well, how can I put it, very homemade gadgetry. What's this? This is a camera, is it?
That's right. That's a camera trap. It's meant to look homemade because we want people making them at home.
Right.
So it's all off-the-shelf parts. It's really cheap. It costs about £25 to make this.
£25?
That's right. Fully working camera trap for £25.
I love the recycling element to it. And this is, obviously, this is something straight out of the kitchen.
That's just a food storage container. Works really well. It's super easy to
It's
manage.
dead cheap. You're recycling. Yeah. I love all that. I could put that together myself in my office. Yeah. But does it work, Bill?
Oh, yeah.
The proof of the pudding is in the pixels here.
I mean, in this case, it's a squirrel. I like it because it's a really good sort of close-up, candid shot.
Well, I've got to say, that is actually pretty good. OK, I'm impressed by the camera, but what I've really come to see is this.
Yeah, this is the bird feeder, but it's a special kind of bird feeder with an RFID reader connected to it.
RFID reader?
Yeah, so RFID is a radio frequency identification. So you attach a ring to the bird with an RFID chip in it, and if you have a reader, you can track the bird when it's come into contact with that reader.
So this is a high-tech scientific device that you can make at home. And when working alongside RFID tags fitted to birds, it can record the unique ID of each animal and transmit this data via Wi-Fi to a central server. So once fitted with a tag by a licensed ringer, a bird doesn't have to be recaptured to individually identify it. It's done automatically every time it visits a feeder. And just like the camera, it is substantially cheaper than current alternatives.
Commercially available RFID readers cost about £1,000, $500 to $1,000. This one costs £35.
35?
35.
35 versus 1,000?
That's right.
You're going to make a lot of scientists very happy, aren't you? A lot of
we hope
ornithologists very happy.
That is definitely our intent.
These RFID readers, or feeders, are currently only prototypes, but the team has been given a license to tag robins to prove that they work. And their first tagged bird, nicknamed Apollo, has already been doing the rounds.
They've landed on pretty much all the feeders in this location, and the feeders have successfully picked up the tags.
OK.
This is Goldsmiths campus. So we can see it's landed on that feeder, and if I click on, for instance, this tag, it's had a couple of sightings on that feeder. That's enough to show that the system works.
It's working. It's fantastic, to be quite honest with you. I'm just looking at this now and I'm imagining a quiet, part of suburbia, an inner city, estate where everyone's got one of these in their garden. Yeah. And they could literally be sat in their kitchen watching a bird moving around the neighbourhood.
You could have the tags sort of travelling from feeder to feeder.
For £35 investment, plus the price of some seed.
Yep, that's right.
It's fantastic, Bill. Bill Gaver and his Citizen Naturewatch team are some really, really smart cookies. I know it's a cheesy cliché, but these people really do think outside the box, and the little box that they've made works. When we were watching there, that robin hadn't clocked up too many ticks at the feeders, but look, now, 58 on this feeder here, 10 on this one and 1 here. OK, it's not great scientific data at the moment. They've just got the one robin marked on the campus. But imagine if they'd marked a number of birds, and there were feeders all over the Goldsmith campus us here. Imagine how quickly we'd learn about these things, and how cheaply as well, and that's the key. And the fact that we can all be involved with this, not just with the feeder, but also with the cameras, is brilliant, isn't it, Patrick?
Yeah, it's great stuff, Chris. And there's one thing that I love more than watching wildlife and getting close animal encounters, and that's tinkering around with gadgets and gizmos. And actually, after watching your film, it got me thinking, inspired to get all of you at home to build your very own camera traps. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Patrick, it's going to cost us a couple of £100 to pick one of these up off the shelf. But I can assure you, Chris, that for £25 sterling, our Springwatchers could be collecting their very own archive of wonderful, magical wildlife. It's really easy to put together.
Well, if you can do it and I can do it, then that's very certain that everyone else can do that. Have you got one of your little
I
cameras?
do, if you'd be ever so obliging to be my handy assistant for the day.
OK.
OK, cool. Right.
Bye.
OK, so this is one that we mocked up earlier. Now, let's start on the outside. It's a very simple Tupperware box on the outside. It's got a hole there, as you can see, and we've repurposed the top of a plastic bottle just to add a bit of waterproofing to prevent any raindrops landing on the lens. Now, if we open that up, Chris, the cool fun stuff is in here.
OK.
Look at that. Now, I don't want anyone to get worried. It does look technical, but essentially that is a laptop miniaturized to the size of your hand.
And this is the camera, I take it?
That's the camera right there. All we have to do is plug that in to the power pack.
OK.
Very simple.
And I'll put the camera in there. Make sure it lines up with the hole. Right there. OK.
Wonderful. Perfect. And then just put the lid
And all
on
you
there.
need is a little bit of soldering, isn't it? A little bit of soldering.
A little bit.
3 sets of soldering, and you've put that together for
All done.
£25.
£25.
The thing is, proof of the pudding is in the pictures.
Yes, it is.
And?
Yeah. I mean, I did go out. I put 1 in the studio and 2 a little bit further afield. Check this out.
Now, I know it gets a little bit wild over in the Springwatch studio, but for my second camera, I want to find somewhere a little bit more natural. Now, when you're thinking of exactly where to put your camera traps, a really good spot is along a wildlife corridor, a bit like this. If you notice, the vegetation is trampled down, and that's because you've got loads of animals coming up and down. If I just take a quick look, this is great. I can see a couple of tracks. That's definitely from a deer, so I'm going to put this down, and hopefully we'll get ourselves a big mammal. Okay, I'm really excited about this last one because I've just seen a rabbit dart into the undergrowth. I can see what looks like a little run here. So I'm hoping that the rabbits are going to be coming back and forth into that beautiful meadow. I'm going to put this camera trap on the opposite side, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we catch them on camera. I set that up right there. It's all clear. Hit record on my phone. Godspeed. Like I said, really easy to use, really easy to set up.
OK.
Yeah.
What about the pictures?
Yeah, I guess the
What about the pictures?
Yeah,
God,
proof's
I
in
wanna
the
see the
pudding, isn't it?
pictures.
OK, let's take a look at what I managed to capture. So we've got the woodland cam.
OK, no, it's a
Nothing there.
nice
Meadows. Let's go to the meadows.
Yeah, lovely grass.
Nothing there. OK, let's go to the studio. I think we caught something interesting there. That looks like a lesser spotted Packham to me.
Yeah, just checking up on how to do an oil change on a Lancaster, of course. But the cameras do work.
They do work. They do work. They do it really well. And actually, I know I didn't get the best images, but take a look at some of these. Some girls from St. Margaret's School, Year 7. Take a look at that, a fantastic fox. And another one from Poppy Tressida, a squirrel. It's just standing there, posing. Lovely, fantastic. From Layla Rakania and Poppy Tressida. Fantastic work.
Fantastic, and it does work. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
And, of course, you can find out all the details about this on our website. Let's rejoin Gillian now.